Welcome to Time of Death. This video is for informational purposes and in no way meant to glorify or condone violence. In today's video, we'll be discussing the murder of Ania Nee Parker. Parker was shot and killed Thursday, October 2nd, 2014 in the 600 block of North Kenmore Avenue in East Hollywood, according to LA County Coroner records. Ulises Carcamo was subsequently arrested and charged with the murder. The following is the evidence at trial. Ulises Carcamo and Eric Carrillo were members of a street gang called Clanton 14 or C14. Carcamo was known by the moniker Silly. Prior to his initiation into C14, Carcamo used the moniker Caps. Carrillo was known as Loquito or Loco. Carcamo often helped Carrillo, who was homeless, to find food, shelter, and clothing. During the evening of October 1st, 2014, Carcamo and Carrillo drank alcohol and ingested methamphetamine with a third Clanton 14 gang member named Soldier for several hours on a dead-end street within Clanton 14 territory. In the early morning hours of October 2nd, the three gang members decided to take a walk around the neighborhood. Soldier walked a few feet ahead of Carrillo and Carcamo. At the intersection of Kenmore Avenue and Melrose Avenue, they passed an African-American man and an African-American woman, Parker. Parker asked if they had a connect. Carrillo understood she was asking to buy drugs. Because he had drugs on him to sell, Carrillo responded, yeah. Carcamo continued walking while Carrillo stopped to speak with Parker. When Carrillo asked whether Parker had any money on her, she backed away from him and pulled a pocket knife. Carrillo believed she felt threatened that he would rob her. Carrillo panicked when he saw the knife and hit her in the face with his fist. She cried out for help and turned to walk away. At that point, Carcamo turned, walked past Carrillo, and shot Parker in the back. After she was shot, Parker managed to cross the street and lay down by a lamppost. Parker died from 2 gunshot wounds, one to her left bicep and another to her left lateral chest and back area. The bullet damaged her left lung and went through her heart. The medical examiner did not determine whether a single bullet was responsible for both wounds because the bullet was removed at the hospital. Parker was a 47-year-old African-American transgender woman who was 6 feet tall and weighed 175 pounds. Although 2 nearby surveillance cameras captured the shooting, officers were unable to identify the assailants. The surveillance videos were shown to the public during news broadcasts on October 10th. Later, several people, including Carrillo, implicated Carcamo in Parker's murder. On October 15th, SG was arrested for an unrelated attempted robbery. SG tried to parlay the information she had about the Parker murder into a more favorable outcome on her robbery charge. SG was unsuccessful, however, and she testified at trial despite failing to receive any leniency in exchange for her cooperation. SG told the detective investigating Parker's murder that someone with the moniker Flaco was the shooter. When the detective was unable to identify anyone with that moniker, SG admitted Silly was the shooter. SG testified that she didn't want to implicate Carcamo because he was her friend. She feared the members of C14 would retaliate against her and her family for testifying. On January 8, 2015, Carrillo was arrested for the Parker murder. He admitted being at the scene and identified Carcamo as the shooter. In exchange, he received a 9-year state prison sentence. He admitted he initially identified Solid as the shooter because he liked Carcamo and didn't want to implicate him. At trial, Carrillo testified to the events leading to the Parker murder as described above. A few months before trial, someone called Carrillo's younger brother and warned Carrillo to stop telling. Carrillo believed he would be killed if he went back out on the streets. The people also presented expert testimony on criminal street gangs from LAPD officer Mark Austin. Officer Austin testified that C14 has approximately 280 members. The primary activities of C14 are narcotic sales, street robberies, attempted murder, and murder. Officer Austin knew Carcamo was known as Silly or Caps and had spoken with him a few times. Carcamo admitted his membership in C14 and showed Officer Austin his tattoos. Austin opined the shooting was committed for the benefit of a criminal street gang since 3 members of C14 worked together to shoot someone in the middle of the street in the heart of the gang's territory. Following the trial, Ulises Carcamo was found guilty on all counts with 2 findings as to the gang allegations. Carrillo was sentenced to 50 years to life in state prison. Ania Nee Parker was 47 years old at the time of death.